everybody, it's Zach again at Torah.com. Wanted to come in and make a video today. Tonight I was relaxing after work on my couch, and we had the windows open tonight because it's a great night, clear night, cool night outside. So why not have the windows open instead of running all that electricity? And so we hear I live on a road that basically when anybody pulls up the road, everybody looks outside. The people who are on the road look outside and see who's there. And so sure enough, we hear a car pull up, and I look out the window and I see who's there. And at first we thought my wife saw it. She thought it was the neighbor's daughter. And it wasn't. It was two guys who got out of the car and walked over to my neighbor's house, and it quickly dawned on her, it's the Mormons. They're back. Now, a couple of friends of mine, we were having a Bible study about a few months ago, and a couple of these Mormons came out and interrupted our Bible study, knocked on the door, and they didn't want to come in because I think they knew they were going to get into more than they could handle probably. So as I told them there was a Bible study going on. And as it was at that time, the Mormon looked down and saw my seat on. It's my tassels that I wear according to the commandments. I had my seat on, and he's like, "What are those?" And I said, "Oh, well, those are seat." And he said, "Whoa, wow. Oh, so are you Are you Jewish?" And I said, "No, I'm not Jewish." I said, "I'm Hebrew," and I said, that's a commandment that, God's people wear these. It's a commandment in the Torah. And he's like, wow, yeah, the Torah. I'd like to read that someday. I've never read that. I said, you never read the Torah? He says, no, I've never read the Torah. I'm like, wait a minute, you're a Mormon. You're out here talking about the Bible, but you've never read the Torah. And he said, no, I never read that. I was like, you realize the Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible? Oh, yeah, I've read that before. Yeah, well, he realized what the Torah was. Most people have no clue what the Torah is. And so, it's in Torah, Numbers 15, that it instructs all of God's children, Israel, to wear tzitzit. And so, when these guys get out of the car tonight, they walked over to my neighbor's house. I'm like, oh, they're going to come here. Let me get a shirt on real quick, because I just had my T-shirt on, and I was just kind of slumming around on the couch, playing with the boy. We don't have a TV or anything, and so I think we were watching a laptop or something. And I quickly got up, got a shirt on, and everything, and I was waiting for these guys to come. And by the time I came back to the living room, my wife says, they're getting in their car and they're leaving. And they were running there, they drove off. And I was like, oh, man. And they already had us pegged, I guess, from the last time they were here. They must have a map or something that says, okay, we checked them off, and, we don't bother going to their house again. Because I guess some people, they realize there's just nothing they're going to get out of them, and it's not worth their trouble or their time. But I like it when they come over, and I think it's a good thing when people like Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons come to your door. Listen, these people, Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses too, they're a cult just as much as Christianity is. And I know sometimes that offends people, calling Christianity a cult. But you know what? Christianity is guilty of this. They're guilty of taking things away from Torah. Judaism, is guilty of adding things to Torah. In the Bible, Deuteronomy, it says, do not add or take away. Do not add or take away. Christianity has taken away. Judaism has added to. Mormonism has done both. They get the award for both. Woohoo, Mormonism, they did both. It's like, how they actually took away, because they're on the side of Christianity where they've taken commandments out of the Bible. They don't even know what Torah is, obviously, because here we have 2 educated Mormons come to my door who don't know what the Torah is. It's the first 5 books of the Bible. So they're, number one, uneducated, and they have no idea what's even in it. So on the side of Christianity, Mormons are guilty of taking away from Torah, but they're also guilty of adding to Torah, because they've added a whole mess of other scriptures, a whole mess of other theology with their Book of Mormon. And they've broken what Deuteronomy says, do not add or take away. And so Mormonism, you get the cake for actually getting both. Something Judaism and Christianity could not do together, they basically did. So congrats on that, Mormons. But yeah, I love talking to people like this when they come to my door. It's great because, the first thing you do, I ask them, what is sin? Go ahead. What is sin? Well, if they read their Bible at all, they'll know that sin is transgression of the law, 1 John. So sin is transgression of the law. Okay, that's what sin is. That defines what sin is. Okay, now what is the law? And chances are, right there, they'll say, oh, well, that's the Ten Commandments. Okay? And, I mean, if they've read their Bible at all, they'll probably say, oh, it's the Ten Commandments, that's the law we're supposed to go by. And I'm saying, well, wait a minute. I don't get that, because in the book of Nehemiah, we have Ezra who brings out the law, and it's in a book form, a scroll. Okay? And it takes him a day and a half to read through the whole Torah. Okay? The law. It says the law. It takes him a day and a half to read it. Okay, it doesn't take a day and a half to read 10 Commandments. So the law is not the 10 Commandments. I'm sorry, but most Christians, and probably Mormons, but most Christians will say right there off the bat, oh, the law, do not sin is transgression of the law. Well, sin is transgression of the 10 Commandments. We keep the 10 Commandments. Well, that's not what first century believers thought. According to a first century believer, the law was the Torah. And when Ezra brought out the law to read it before the people, he read the Torah, because he goes through the Torah. It takes him a day and a half to read it. And not only that, but he also goes through the Feast of Tabernacles in the book of Nehemiah. The Feast of Tabernacles. And so, right there, that these people, they rip their clothes, they the sackcloth, and they weep, and they're like, oh man, we haven't been keeping the law. They're very sorrowful and repentant that they haven't been keeping this law. And one of the things that they found out they haven't been keeping is the Feast of Tabernacles, which is in the Torah, in the instructions of the Father. And so people don't realize that. They have no idea. They think the law, if anything, is the 10 Commandments, and that fourth one is done away with. We don't have to do any of that, and all the other stuff. Now, if you've talked to anybody who's been through any Christian apologetics at all whatsoever, any Christian apologetics will say, oh, well, see, that's the difference between moral law and ceremonial law. And that's not true at all. Nowhere in your Bible. You can go to blueletterbible.org and do a search for the phrase moral law and ceremonial law, and you won't find it anywhere in the Bible. So if you ever come across a Christian or Mormon or whoever and says, oh, you keep that Torah, you keep that, the dietary laws, you keep those feast days, that's ceremonial law. We don't have to do that anymore. There's a difference between moral law and ceremonial law. And my response is always, okay, Mr. Smarty Pants, here's my Bible. Show me one place in the Bible that says moral law or ceremonial law. Show me one place where that phrase is used. You will not find it. It's just not there. It's something that modern apologetics has made up because they realize there's a contradiction in what they teach at the Sunday church and then what is actually said in the Bible. The Bible and what they teach in the Sunday Christian church do not mesh. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. And so when you see people like this, they realize there's a contradiction. So modern Christian apologetics says, oh, yeah, that's ceremonial law. We don't have to do that. It's made up. It's made up, man-made theology. Ceremonial law, the phrase ceremonial law and the phrase moral law do not exist. In fact, God says there is one law. One law for you, the homeborn, and for the sojourner, the stranger. The word there is goys. Goyim, it is Gentiles, folks. There is one law for his people. And when you become a believer in Yeshua, the Messiah, you become grafted in, as Paul says. You become grafted into the olive tree, which is Israel. You are Israel at that point. And it's at that point, because you are grafted in and heirs to the promise of Abraham, you are now subject to the laws, the instructions of Torah. It's God's instructions saying, hey, listen, if you're going to be my people, these are your rules. You follow those rules and you will be my people. It's not about salvation. You're already saved. But because you're saved, you want to follow the rules of the Father. That's walking out your faith. You already have the faith. You're saved by grace through faith. Now you walk it out. How do you walk it out? You keep the Torah. You keep His instructions to the best of your ability. Will you fall short? Please. You're going to fall short. We all fall short. But it's the changed heart inside that demands that your body and your soul love Him to the best of your ability, and to the best of your ability means walking out your faith by keeping His instructions. It's that simple. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you about that tonight. I want to make a video. I got some other videos I want to make coming up soon, and with the Noah's Ark, I want to make a Noah's Ark video. But I want to make that too tonight because the Mormons stopped by, and next time I'll run out there in my bare feet and flag them down, force them to come inside and have a cup of coffee or something. Maybe I'll get them on camera. So, all right. Next time, if you're a Mormon, feel free to stop by. If not, if you are, go home, read your Bible. Thanks.